Hi, I'm Zach, and this is Challenger Vedic Astrology and Tarot. Welcome to the channel. So, today we're going to be talking about Ardra Nakshatra and the true meaning of it. This is a difficult nakshatra to talk about, but we're going to get into it. If you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. And if you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal reading, or a consultation, links to those are in the description box and the comments below. Alright. So, Ardra. Ardra Nakshatra is ruled by Rahu. And the deity of Ardra is Rudra, or Shiva. Shiva being Rudra after he obtained enlightenment. And Ardra takes place from 6 degrees 40 arc minutes to 20 degrees 0 arc minutes of Gemini. It's the heart of the sign of Gemini. Okay. The animal symbol of Ardra is the dog or the wolf. This is the nakshatra of canines. It's kind of difficult for me doing this nakshatra today. My dog, my family dog, Charlie, just had to be put down a few days ago. So it's been really difficult dealing with that. He is a great dog. So, we're going to talk about Ardra. If you've been dealing with heartbreak, you've been dealing with sorrow. I know this is Valentine's Day that this is releasing. Happy Valentine's Day. If you're watching this though, this is going out to the heartbroken, lonely people in the world who've dealt with a lot of sorrow. Because we're talking about Ardra. So we're going to start with the mythology of Ardra first. So, to start this off, Brahma was chasing after his daughter in the form of a stag. His daughter had taken the form of a doe. Brahma is the god of creation. He wanted to create more life. So he was going to rape his daughter to create more life. Now, Brahma's children, his other children, didn't want their father to do this. So they asked Rudra, their youngest sibling, to stop their father. They begged him because he was the strongest of all the gods. So Rudra agreed. And he went after them. And with a bow and arrow, he shot off one of his father's heads. And saved his sister from being raped. When his siblings found out what he had done, they turned on him. They were like, "How could you do that? You went too far." So, Rudra went running, screaming and howling throughout the universe. Because at this time, he still didn't have a name. So they named him Rudra, the screamer, the howler. But we see a lot of things with this when it comes to Ardra. So to start, that theme of dogs and wolves. Ardra is the nakshatra of loyalty. Just like a dog. Just like my boy Charlie. Dogs are the most loyal. But, just like wolves, wolves were feared, hunted to the brink of extinction. So, Ardra people will be betrayed. They will be treated like outcasts. You will definitely see that. They will deal with betrayal numerous times during their life. And at one point, it will be because other people thought you or this Ardra person went too far in some action that they took. And Rudra was made an outcast by his elder siblings. They turned their back on him for saving his older sister. So another thing we see with this is negative karma with one's father or father figure and elder siblings. Now it doesn't, it's not going to be that literal story, but you'll see an Ardra native usually doesn't have a good relationship with their father and with their elder siblings. So you will definitely see that. And dealing with all this betrayal, not having the support of their father and their older siblings. An Ardra native deals with a lot of loneliness, a lot of anger, and a lot of sorrow. The symbol of this nakshatra is the teardrop. These people cry a lot. This is actually the most masculine nakshatra. The phrase manly tears comes to mind. So, these people will have mood swings. They'll, be very sad and depressed 1 minute. The next, they'll be very angry. And why are they angry? Most of the time, it's because they're lonely. It's because of how they've been betrayed. It's because of all the sorrow that wells up inside them. Another thing we see with this is emotional distance. An Ardra native emotionally distances themselves from others because they don't want to share that anger, that sorrow with others. The mythological story tied to that is Shiva swallowed poison so that the other gods wouldn't be poisoned. And when he did, his wife Parvati choked him so that the poison wouldn't go down. And he became known as the blue-throated one. So, what we see with this is, an Ardra native tends to swallow this poison. They don't speak to their anger, their sorrow. They don't share that with others often. Now, Ardra is also tied to hunting. Rudra hunted his father down with a bow and arrow. Ardra people make great hunters. Rudra is also a medicine man. He may be the god of destruction, but he's actually a great healer. So Ardra people can be in healthcare, in medicine, taking care of others. Also, one thing we see with this is a futuristic intelligence. Don't forget, this is Rahu. Rahu is the most intelligent graha when it comes to worldly matters. Not Jupiter. Jupiter is spiritual. So, I've seen themes of even time travel with this. Like in the media I watch while moon's in Ardra or aspecting Ardra. themes of time travel play out. This These people tend to be trendsetters, far ahead of their time. People won't even understand the things they're talking about, but they have this intellect that's very futuristic. Albert Einstein was an Ardra ascendant. So you very clearly see that with this nakshatra. Another thing we see is because Ardra people were, mistreated by their father or don't have a good relationship with their father, they themselves want to be a great parent. Like, this is the nakshatra of fatherhood. But even if you're a woman, you see these people can make very good parents. Now, there are negatives to this nakshatra, of course. There are those mood swings, those anger issues, that sorrow. But Ardra that's not, overly influenced by malefics, you'll see this person makes a very good parent. Now, another thing we see with this nakshatra is heartbreak, which is probably the reason this is going to be releasing on Valentine's Day. So, why do we see heartbreak with this nakshatra? Well, Shiva, his first wife, Sati, wanted her husband to go to this party. It was going to be like a religious ceremony. And her father wouldn't allow Shiva to come. So she went before her father at this ceremony and burned herself alive right in front of him and cut off her own head. She killed herself right in front of her father. Now, this literal theme is, don't take this literally. It doesn't play out. But what we do see with this is an Ardra native experiences heartbreak by the one they love at one point in life. Whether it's through a breakup or other means. They will have their heart broken in a way they will never forget. They will shed those tears. This is the constellation of storms. That storm of anger and sorrow. When Shiva found out about this, he went to that party, knocked out one god's teeth, poked out another one's eye, slaughtered them left and right. This is the nakshatra of destruction. A storm uproots everything. It destroys so that new life can grow. But to go along with this theme of heartbreak, we see the symbolism of wolves. The story of the werewolf comes to mind. A werewolf is usually killed by the one the werewolf loves, shooting it in the heart with a silver bullet. So this can show being betrayed in love. But either way, we do see that an Ardra person experiences that heartbreak in life at one point. Now, another thing we see. Shiva, when his wife reincarnated, she reincarnated as Parvati. And Parvati wanted to marry Shiva again. So she went in search of him. Parvati is tied to Mrigashira Nakshatra. Nakshatra of stalking. So she went in hunt of the man she was going to marry. And Shiva took on the form of a sage or hermit, and he tested her resolve, had her undergo, I forget what it's called, basically atonement. And when her resolve proved true, he revealed that he was Shiva. Now, note, Parvati was like a young woman, like 20. Shiva had lived numerous lifetimes. He was a god. So what we see here is a teacher-student dynamic plays out between an Ardra person and their partners in relationships. There could be an age difference between an Ardra person and their partner, or a maturity level difference. But one person will play the role of the teacher, and one person will play the role of the student. Now, can this lead to very inappropriate relationships? Yes, it can. But usually not. So the biggest thing with Ardra is it's the constellation of heartbreak and sorrow. Anger, especially at the age of 11, there will be something that happens where an Ardra person becomes very angry, very destructive. But this nakshatra is represented by the diamond. So, Ardra people go through enormous pressure, just like a piece of coal, and turn into that diamond. They shine like the brightest of all in the end. Ardra people are trendsetters with that futuristic intelligence. They can become some of the greatest people you'll ever know, but only after a lot of suffering. Albert Einstein is a great example of this. His ascendant was Ardra. His father died at an early age. The rest of his family treated him like an outcast. He was a patent clerk until he was in his early 30s. But later in life, he became known as the most intelligent man in the world. Renowned by all. So that's what you see with an Ardra person. With my boy Charlie. I feel like there was something else I wanted to say with this. Yeah. So that's Ardra Nakshatra. This is my most prominent nakshatra. I have my Jupiter in Ardra. It's the symbol of my business. That futuristic intellect with Ardra, with the wolf. I want to guide people to that brighter future. Out of all their sorrow, their loneliness. To that brighter future that everyone wants. So that's what I use Ardra for. But that's been Ardra Nakshatra. And if you like my videos, be sure to like and subscribe. Really helps out me in the channel. If you'd like a Vedic Sidereal birth chart, a personal reading, or consultation, the links to those will be in the description box and the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.